you guys are on. I tried looking at what up, guys. Welcome back, Liberia to the world. Been moving some stuff here. It's a little empty in this studio. I've been looking at the YouTube algorithm to see when most of you guys are online. According to YouTube, most of you guys are available around this time. So that's why we're doing a live video today. Also, I should be making um, a post about a live and letting you guys know when I'll be coming on live. Let me grab my drink. So, but we're here. We're managing it. The sun is up here. But today I want to talk about, I really want to talk about this dual citizenship thing. That's been a conversation. And if you're on the live, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming through. I want this, like all the lives, I want this to be very interactive. I want to hear you guys' opinion because I only do live when I want to interact with you guys, right? When I want to just talk, I make those, regular episodes and post it. But when I want to interact with you guys and hear you guys' opinion and talk to you, that's when I do live. So just bring this comment below. Just go ahead and let's talk about it. So we're talking about dual citizenship today. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So according to recent activities with Liberia, according to the news or my research, Liberia now has dual citizenship. Is that true or is that not true? Let me know, guys. First of all, I really want to hear what you guys think. Just in general, the opinion of dual citizenship. What do you guys think is going to be the benefit to Liberia? How much help is that going to be for Liberia? Or is it going to be a disadvantage? Is that something that's going to bring us backwards a little bit? But I'll talk about it in a few ways, right? The first thing is dual citizenship. The first thing when dual citizenship started coming up, the conversation people started having was, and which stands kind of true, right? And it's been my concern. I was a little bit hesitant about the dual citizenship thing in Liberia, as far as how is that going to benefit the country? How is that going to make the country grow, right? So I say, I heard it was passed. So there are two sides for me. One, I think is great now that so many people have an easy, or at least the bill was passed, like you said, the bill was passed, an easy path to citizenship for Liberia, right? Which is going to give so many people the upper hand on really putting their foot down in Liberia and establishing a stronghold. So many people have been. If you guys have been on this channel, you will notice that a lot of questions for a lot of people who want to go back to Liberia to do something, right? To start a business, to buy land, to buy properties and stuff. They're always asking, hey, I'm not a Liberian citizen, so how can I go about this? It's pretty difficult and this and this and this. I think that with this bill being passed, if everything 100% goes through, it's going to be a big gateway to establishing all the momentum, right, of people coming back and pouring resources into the country and establishing. Now, there are always multiple sides to this, right? Because some of our concerns would be, okay, we're indigenous Liberians in Liberia. We're trying to develop the country. We're trying to take back the country, the economy especially. Because we all know the economy of Liberia right now doesn't belong to Liberians. It belongs to foreigners who are in Liberia doing business under Liberians, who are like they put in front as the forefront to register and establish the business, but they own the business, they control everything, right? So that's the kind of downside of dual citizenship. Now, so many people are able to go into the country and establish businesses, of course, right? Employ some people, establish some jobs, and give them some money, but then turn around and outpour all of those resources back to their home country, where they're coming from. Because most of these business people who are coming to Liberia to take advantage of dual citizenship to establish business in the country are not doing this so that they can develop Liberia, right? Are doing this so they can get money and almost basically establish things back to their home country, right? So that's the downside about it. The upside, though, is it's like a catch-22. The whole dual citizenship thing, I've always been on the fence, right? The upside, though, is, of course, they will come. A lot of people are going to come to the country, easy pathway to citizenship. A lot of people who are U.S. citizen, Australian citizen, Canadian citizens can say, you know what, it's easier now for me to go back and establish business in the country and bring resources in the country, right? Employ people. And I think in this way, mostly that's what the advantage is going to be. because we who are citizens of other countries but are indigenous or born Liberians, um, are most likely, at least I would say 40% of our income or our establishments is going to benefit Liberia directly, because that's our grassroots. That's where most of our family lives. So that's where we're going to establish most of these things back and have it stay in the country, right? But at the same time, of course, 60% of that will be back home, because you're dual citizenship. You're not going to revoke your citizenship to the US or Canada or whatever it is just to be a Liberian citizen, right? You're going to bring, because you have a stronghold back in Canada, you always have a home base back where you're a citizen at. So you're going to bring back some of that resources. But that's still good, because you wouldn't have been able to do that anyways, right? And if you would establish anything, you would establish that in your country, your citizenship in, and pour all the resources back in that country. So in that end, yes, we would take 40% of whatever it is you're doing to stay in Liberia and stuff, that they can take the rest back and all. But the other side too is, what is the median? Where is the fine line in between everybody, most people who are just completely different and not don't have any Liberia link, going to be a citizen in Liberia and still being a citizen in their country, and basically doing one or two things there, providing some jobs and stuff like that, but taking everything back. But at the same time, they're providing, even to provide 5 jobs, that's 5 jobs that wasn't there before. So I'm really on the fence here. I really want to hear from you guys. I don't know what to think about this. Gregory said, hello, man. I think dual citizenship would be good. I'm in America, but I grew up in Liberia. My mother nationality, I would like to go back. Yeah, so that's what it is, man. It's great for especially those of us who are Liberians to really go back home and establish and have an easy path, an easy way, because that's one of the difficult things now, is being a born Liberian, living in a different country, now trying to go back home, and things are getting a little harder, right? So this is great. But let's discuss both ends, right? Does the good outweigh the bad, right? So we have the skill. For me, the skill is like going like this every time I think about dual citizenship. It's going like this. It's going like this, you know. But I want you guys' input. Most of you probably will know more about this than I do. So kind of want to hear from you guys. Like, is the good, is it going to outweigh? What about those people who are coming just to take resources out of the country? Now we're having easier pathways, right? How are we going to combat that? And also, even if we don't combat it and it happens, is that going to be significantly less than the good of this dual citizenship is going to provide, right? So let's see here. Gregory, my power was willing. Oh, nice. So this person said, implement a system that will stop exploitation of, yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying, right? So now that's the first step in establishing dual citizenship, which is a great pathway, a great initial step to really develop in the country, and having people come back and put hands together, whether you're Liberian or not, to bring the country. Even if they're doing it for their own benefit, the country is going to benefit it somehow. But how is that going to be more beneficial? How is that going to stick? And how is that not going to be taken so much of an advantage of? Whereas for people like me who are on the fence of dual citizenship, who hasn't been 100% for dual citizenship, can say, you know what, at least I have a peace of mind knowing that, okay, A is established, people can go back, but B, there are systems and procedures in place, right? Infrastructure in place to really hinder. It's not going to 100% prevent this, right? But at least to limit the exploitation of Liberia or Liberians by people who are just going to be pouring in Liberia to take advantage of this and do that. Because that's kind of one of the things that's been stopping people really, for especially those who don't have good intention for the country, right? To just come and see the potential, right? And just come take advantage, do it. And I've been, we go in Liberia, we see all the time. We see other people, we know those people, the people that are the names start with L's, the C's, those people who are in Liberia, we see the way they treat our Liberians, right? And imagine at that time when they established all of these things, Liberia didn't have dual citizenship. So you can imagine the process and loophole they have to go through to establish that, and they're doing this, right? And then now that they have a pathway and they can easily get that and actually establish businesses for themselves and all of that, how is that going to be, right? And they're still citizens of their country, not they're citizens of Liberia. If they lose their citizenship of Liberia, cool, whatever it is, but most people wouldn't want to lose their citizenship from the country that they're either naturalizing as a citizen or maybe born by birth as a citizen, but has still, their parents are from Liberia and stuff like that. They wouldn't want to lose that. So that's what the fine line is for me. So I want to hear from you guys. I see about 20 of you guys are online. kind of want to hear from each and everybody as far as what are your inputs, your take on dual citizenship, how beneficial is it going to be for Liberia? What are your opinion on that? So that's going to be one of the things. The second thing too has been, and something that I kind of was agreeing with, right? As far as people, yeah, like somebody said on the live, really putting in place system to stop exploitation of Liberia, having passed this dual citizenship bill, meaning now people are not they don't have to take significant risk. Like for instance, when this happened, right, the first thing I think about is government jobs, which we know in Africa as a whole, government jobs are the most corrupt sector, where everybody is in it for themselves, everybody go chop, everybody go eat a small team and just fend for themselves and establish their lives for themselves and their family. Government job, 90% of the government officials in any African country, even any country as a whole, they're just there, especially in the US. It's not so obvious like corruption, but it's this lobbying and these law. Sorry guys, I got a phone call. I don't know how to. I should. Sorry about that, guys. I had a phone call. Um, I just stopped this live, but I can't turn my phone on. Maybe I can set it to do not disturb or something. I don't know if it's gonna affect the internet. But anyways, yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, so let's continue the conversation about, especially when it comes to the government sector. So let me see if anybody commented so far. Okay, so I know them. I think it's a great idea because we need to go back home and take our economy from foreigners. So Emmanuel said that, right? It's a great idea because now we can go back home and take our economy from the foreigners, which is a big upside of all of this. And just from my first visit to Liberia, that was my thing. I'm like, how are so much of this economy being controlled by people who are not Liberians? Like when we went around and saw businesses and establishments and infrastructures that were like solely owned or in partnership amongst themselves, Liberians, it was such a relief. It became our goal of like locating Liberian, 100% Liberian owned businesses that are not backed by anybody else, just Liberian owned businesses. So like if you guys watch the channel, when I did an interview with the Mel's apartment, the guy, when I went to, I think, Bosch restaurant on Marshall Highway area like that, it's like now they're becoming an estate. I posted a video on there. There's so many places that when I see those places being 100% Liberian owned, it's such a relief. Now, nobody is saying, I'm not saying I'm totally against foreigners establishing businesses in Liberia. It brings jobs, especially if somebody come to Liberia, establish a huge factory. But what I think though is now how is that going to be managed, right? My channel mainly I don't talk too much politics, but no matter what we do, politics is involved. And my opinion on politics is not so much about this president this president that. It's just I'm usually will focus on whoever it is in power. So in this case, the administration in power now, how are they going to really work with this whole new system, right, of dual citizenship? Meaning, okay, all these people are coming into the country and they're establishing, let's say, a Chinese guy who had been wanting to establish business in Liberia but has been hesitant because of the whole loophole thing, is now having the, let's say, easier path to a citizenship, right, whilst he can still maintain his citizenship back in his homeland and come and establish a huge factory. Now, how are we protected, right? That new person established a huge factory, of course, maybe employed about 700 Liberians, right? Now, what are we going to look at? We're going to look at the wages. We're going to look at the working condition. We're going to look at all of those things. If all of those things are in place and they're of standard, then it's great. It's beneficial, right? Second thing we look at is what kind of reinvestment is that person having in the community on a small scale or the country on the larger scale. Because I've mentioned before, right? We went to I forgot the name of the actual thing, the factory that do crushed rocks and sand, and it was owned by a Chinese company. And you can tell these people make a lot of money because we were there for hours, and upon hours, the trucks was just going in and out, in and out, in and out. And they were dredging river from the lake. They were dredging sand. I don't know if the word dredging or whatever it is, but they were taking sand from the lake, selling it to people, and breaking rocks from like the mountain area in that area and selling it, right? But right in that community before getting to that factory that is owned by the Chinese man. Like the place is so poor. That area, there's not even a single nice gravel road going there. So you're thinking, well, this person is definitely making millions of dollars because we're going in there spending $300-400 every 5 minutes. People are in line, trucks going in and out every day, making all this money. But how come they haven't just invested? Let's say they don't have to do a big thing for the country. Let's say in that community, right? Maybe just build even one hand pump in that community, or one well in that community, or just fix the road that's going towards the company. It's not being done, but they're making money, and I'm suspecting that all of the money is going back. And they have small staff. They don't have a lot of people. They don't, they're just them and a few families, like the guy, his wife, his dad, and his two kids. Just there are people running that thing, right? So it's great that they're doing that. That Liberians can go and buy crushed rocks for a reasonable price and stuff like that. It's helping people build. But in return, how is that also pumping anything back into the economy? The economy, right? The only thing they're dredging. So similar conversation I'm talking about. So when all these things, if that Chinese guy go to Liberia, that foreigner goes to Liberia, anybody, not just Chinese, anybody go to Liberia, establish a huge company, what measures do we have in place? I'm pretty sure we do, but how is that going to be implemented, right? How are we really going to stand on our 2 feet and say, look, this is what such and such and such? But overall, or should we just say, you know what? Yeah, whatever. At least we have this, right? At least we have a factory being built by a foreigner. At least we have A and B being done by the foreigner, and people are benefiting, right? Or are we going to be so how do you call, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Contempt with whatever it is that happens with this whole dual citizenship thing. So and most of you guys watching it, is that something you consider doing? Is that something you would consider getting? Because most people, everybody around me, are like, oh, great, now I can go and get my Liberian passport and do my whole citizenship of Liberia and stuff like that, and I still keep my American citizenship, of course, and all of that. So, and people are like, well, that's great. Now I can just go back and forth to Liberia. I don't have to do a visa thing. It's just pretty cheap now. Da 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 da. Especially those who are establishing homes back home and building and stuff like that. They can just get on a flight every now and then, go back home. By going back home, obviously that means they're contributing to the economy by supporting local business and stuff like that. So it's going to be beneficial that way. But yeah, let me hear you guys. So Nancy said they don't want to live or open good business in Liberia, but want to take everything out of their country. So same thing I said, and I said Prankster G said that Liberian people need to stop worrying about government jobs and start building infrastructure and industry. Yeah, so all of these things, this is saying, exactly, um, but one of the main concern that the whole dual citizenship thing, like I'm going back to what I was saying before, but the whole government thing, right? Which I don't know. So the government thing in the fact that okay, I can still be a U.S. citizen, go back to Liberia without relinquishing my U.S. citizenship, right? Go back to Liberia, and um, and be a Liberian citizen and get in a government job, right? And I can screw up things, and as soon as something started to go wrong, boom, I'm an American citizen. I can run to the American embassy. I can be safe over there, or I can hop on the next flight when the American people are coming for other people. I have an American passport. I can hop on that flight and leave the country. I have to worry about, if I screw up and something happens, I have to deal with it here. So when I thought about this dual citizenship thing, the first thing I ever thought about was that. Of course, it was only government thing. And most of the conversation around dual citizenship had to do with government jobs. And that's why people were hesitant about supporting this bill, right? So that's what it is. So right now, that's what it is. But I think it's much bigger than that. So I have had the chance to really think about it, right? And of course, explore the different the benefits of dual citizenship. And it's way bigger than just government jobs. But at the same time, as I expand my knowledge on the benefits, also creeps in some disadvantages. But it's just up to we Liberians now to see how can we manage this opportunity of having not indigenous, but diaspora Liberians come back home and contribute, and also non-Liberians come in Liberia and contribute. It's left to us now to really manage the whole thing. So, yeah, I mean, personally, currently now, I think the benefits outweigh the negatives, by this much. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? And if you are Liberian and a citizen of a different country, of course, are you going to consider having a Liberian passport? and and what are you planning to do with it? So muta. I mean, it would definitely save on visa costs. Yeah, so that's one of the obvious and big benefits is saving on visa costs, right? And I wonder what other country has dual citizenship. I'm trying to see and maybe do a little more research on the countries that have dual citizenship and kind of really get some data on what that's doing for that country or how is that benefiting that country, right? Because I'm curious now to see what that's going to do. Um, so yeah, if you guys know any country that have a dual citizenship, let me know. I kind of want to do research on that. But currently, I think it's a good thing overall. There's going to be a lot of flaws that's going to be left to us, Liberians and Liberian government, to really manage this whole thing because now it's going to be open. Now we Liberians who are maybe diaspora Liberians are now going to be fighting for opportunities as well as all those other people who are going to be coming in. But it's good. It's not a bad thing, right? That's cool. That encourages people to be more creative. That encourages people to do things faster. That encourages people to make things better because there's a lot of competition. So it's not a bad thing. Just on a high level, it's not a bad thing. When you look on a micro level, that's when you could see some disadvantages of having this thing, dual citizenship. But overall, I think in general, it's a better thing. The benefit outweighs the negatives, but it's going to be left to us, we Liberians, to see how we can manage it. So I want to hear from you guys. Like I said, what are you guys' thoughts about it? And I think this has passed during the right time because most of you, 99% of all you guys on this live knows about the year of the diaspora for Liberia this year. And a lot of people didn't want to go because some people have to pay 240 or whatever it is for visa and all of that. And now you can just get your Liberian passport if you do it in time at the right place, probably for 100, I don't know, 150 or something or whatever. You can do that and be able to just get up and go to Liberia anytime without having to need a visa every time. So that's good. It's good. It saves money, which means a lot of people are going to be going back and forth, which is going to improve the country and help out. So let's see here. So Nancy said Ghana, Nigeria, and other African countries. So yeah, so the other African countries have dual citizenship. So now we have to look at this country and say, okay, they're doing significantly better as far as all African countries have their flaws and they have things that needs improvement. Every one of them. But just on the well, population has to come in play here too. Liberian, all of these other countries, the population is way significantly higher than Liberia. But having said that, just we can't still there's clearly benefits just from not. I'm not looking into it too much yet, but I can say that there are benefits even from living in Ghana for almost 8 or 9 years. There are definitely benefits of having dual citizenship. So yeah, definitely, man. Patterson says, great topic. Dual citizenship is the best way. At least we can go back home and help develop our country. Definitely, Patterson. Yes. So I mean, it's a great way, and like I said, so that's kind of what I've been on the fence because when dual citizenship was introduced, it came with all of these baggage, and the baggage were mostly people in Liberia saying, "Hey, we want you guys to come up here. We're doing great. We want to keep our opportunities to ourselves. You guys went ahead and left the country. You say you want to find something better. Don't come back here now and say you want to do this." That's kind of how it's been, right? Because most of the backlash from dual citizenship, I would say, was mostly coming from Liberia, right? Probably those who were currently benefiting in some way from some kind of systems in Liberia, right? But saying, well, if we do dual citizenship, now we have all of these people coming back and they're about to screw up what I have going on, or they're about to create competition for what I have going on. I don't know if I really like that, right? So that's where the backlash was coming from, and that's how I was introduced to it, right? And I was introduced to dual citizenship mainly, especially when it comes to Liberia, attached with government jobs. People are going to come here; they're not going to care about the country. They're going to come and steal and go back to the country they're a citizen of, which that is something to consider, right? It's not improbable. So that's still something to consider. So, but are we just going to look at that and be like, oh, well, for the potential of some people, no matter those people, no matter what it is, they're going to steal. Of some people coming back and taking advantage of this bill, should we prevent it, right? But like most of you on this live said, I think that I think the benefits outweighs the negatives. So yeah, so I just kind of want, again, if you're just joining live, I want to hear your opinion, and so we can discuss some of the benefits. Like, how is this going to directly affect, number one, businesses in Liberia that are currently there? Is that going to harm businesses in Liberia now that so many people are coming back to establish business? Is that going to help businesses in Liberia now that so many people are coming back to establish business? In return, having those businesses in Liberia either improve their service or their product because they are competition. We all know what competition does to products. It makes it cheaper and it makes it better. Because, I mean, if people, mostly nowadays, we're all price conscious. We as people, human, we buy. There are only a few things we buy on emotions. Meaning, no matter how the price is, we buy on emotions, like wedding dresses, wedding rings, and all of that stuff. Most people buy on emotion. They'll save up a lot more and buy it because it's emotion attached. But there are a lot of things that you don't buy on emotion. If you go and buy a pack of gum, if it's 2 cents cheaper over there than over here, you're moving over there. It don't matter. You don't have no emotion. So that's going to really affect businesses in Liberia, I think, in a more positive way, meaning now people are going to better whatever they have going on. They're not going to be so complacent. They're not going to be just, because a lot of businesses in Liberia just do anything anyway, talk to you anyhow, produce anything, and people are still flocking there, right? Because there's not a lot of competition around. There's not a lot of people that are competing with that business. Like I said, I went to so many businesses, even like it has to do with this whole channel, right? There are so many businesses I will go to and say, hey, I want to promote you guys' business on the channel. They're like, they don't really care, because what? They're the only business of that level in that area, and people are going to come there despite my channel support or not, right? But when we went to a different area, we went to down Waterside, where they had all these electronic stores in line. There are like 6 of them, different people, different brand. Almost all of those guys were open to us promoting their business, right? Because everybody want to get a leg up. So I think it's going to hurt business a little bit, meaning customers are going to be pulled here and there. But at the same time, product and service is going to be better, because now there's options. I can go over there if you don't treat me well over here, right? So that's kind of, I think it's really something that's really complicated as far as looking at it on a deeper level and saying, hey, you know, is this going to be more beneficial? But for most of what you guys will research, most of what I've been saying, or you guys know, it's going to be more beneficial, right? That's on the business side. Now let's talk about, let's say, for instance, what about, for instance, on the, let's say, agriculture, produce side. Now, dual citizenship, what does that mean? Doesn't mean everybody's going to leave wherever they're at, they're going to come to Liberia and live there. But what that means, though, that people are going to frequent, they're going to be there more. There are going to be more options. So does that mean prices are going to go up a little bit? Because people are coming back with a little bit more money. People from different countries and in the diaspora have access to a little bit more money, and they're coming back frequently. So people can afford to bump up price a little bit, because there are more people who can be able to afford it. Like, for instance, that's this agriculture side, right? Or it's really not going to matter, right? Because if there are more people and the factories or the farmers, whatever it is, whatever they are producing, do they have the capability of? Oh man, sorry guys. I don't know how this thing. I think I figured it out now. When somebody call and I cancel the call, the screen just freezes. It doesn't do anything. It don't come back or nothing. But I think what I just did was just to bring the screen down or something. So I'm sorry, guys. I know this is not good. I just put my phone on do not disturb, and it's still connecting to Wi-Fi. So I don't think this should happen again. This ruined the whole vibe, right? People keep calling and stopping and freezing the screen. This will be the last time, though. I think I figured it out, so it's not gonna freeze again. But let's just catch up until people can come back on some comments. So competition breed better service. That's 100% true. Yet to dual citizenship is a great move for our country. We will definitely experience employment opportunities in the next 5 years. Which I agree with. Employment opportunities mean more people are going to come back and establish more jobs and more opportunities. Todd said, competition breeds better service. That's 100%. That's 100% accurate, and it can be seen everywhere around us. So definitely that's true. Mutar said, "Is necessary to see common building material stores? Hardly any library." Can you guys see these comments though? Let me know. Let me know if you were to see comments. I tried looking at it the last time. Can you see each other comments? I think when you're looking at it from a computer, when you're watching this live from a computer, then you can see a comment. But I'm not sure. But just let me know, guys. Just say yes or no if you're able to see each other comment. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. So, all right. So this is probably one of the most positive things coming out of Liberia this feedback in a while. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So I want to know if there will be any disadvantage. So Patterson said, "Want to know if there will be any disadvantage or disadvantages concerning the dual citizenship." Yeah. So kind of what I've been speaking on as far as disadvantages would be mainly people now having the opportunity to come in the country and exploit the country. People with no intention of developing Liberia will now have an easy pathway to really extracting resources from Liberia. And it's going to happen a lot. I think it's going to happen a lot. But because people don't know, man, if you visit Liberia or if you have any kind of business accolades or like business sense or access to create amazing businesses, whether it be in capital or materials, when you go to Liberia, you will see a gold mine. Trust me. You see a gold mine because there are so many things in Liberia that are not there yet, that hasn't been established yet, that you and I can go and do, and will make money because people do have money in there, and people even without the dual citizenship now, there are a lot of people who are going back and forth with Liberia. Liberians in the diaspora are really, even despite this dual citizenship that just passed, because prior to this, I would say the past 7 to 10 years, more and more Liberians are like, maybe we should go back. Especially those Liberians, the baby boomers, those people who are reaching to that age level, right? Are like, maybe we should think about going back home and stuff like that. Especially if you've been in the country for more than like 10 years. You start to get homesick. You start to realize that life in, especially like example in America, it's like a circle. You do the same thing Monday to Friday, you chill on the weekend, and you do all of this the same way. You get 2 weeks off, especially if you're working a regular job. You get 2 weeks off an entire year. You go and do 1 or 2 fun things. You go back in the circle again. You pay your bills. You make money. You pay your bills. You make money. You pay your bills, and you do that until you're older to retire. And most of us Africans don't have any plans for retirement. I worked in banking for 10 years, and I never really saw any African person or black person going to that bank to talk retirement, because I used to be an investment banker, and I worked with what we call the high value client. What is it? Private banking. Basically, I work with people who have $100,000 or more in their account, and those people who are planning for retirement. Those are the people I worked with. And all my 10 years, I worked with like a handful of Africans or Liberians or Africans or black people as a whole who are planning for retirement. So this is telling me that more and more people after hitting that age, they're gonna be going back home, because you're gonna stay in this country and live on the little government assistant thing in a little group home that the government is paying for, to have strangers working with you and treating you all kind of way, because you don't have any money left to really live the life you want to live. You just be bored down to, whatever $700-800 the government is going to give you every month, and pay your little group home or not your nursing home, whatever it is. So people are going back, right? People are going back. So back to your point about the disadvantage would be that people now are going to start exploring the country and going there and taking resources out of there and stuff like that. So now, but this disadvantage though, it's not incurable, right? It's not like I'm trying to find a disease that you can't cure. I know AIDS is gonna come up with. Anyways, it's like it's not like an incurable disease, which means yes, we can't 100% stop the exploitation of Liberia due to dual citizenship. However, now this is where the government now have to flex their muscle and say, okay, now we've established this. We want this to benefit us, Liberians, Liberia, more so than those who are coming to Liberia to take advantage of this. And if you're going to take advantage of a dual citizenship, right, meaning you want to be a citizen of where you're at now and a citizen of a different country, that should be, being a citizen of a country doesn't just mean you're reaping benefits. It's what can you contribute to the country. Same thing when you go be a citizen in the US, when they do your background, they're trying to see how you're contributing to the country. So first of all, you wanting to be a citizen of Liberia, it basically saying you want to contribute to Liberia. So this is where the government has to now say, you know what? Now we've established this bill, we've passed this bill, we established a pathway and opportunity. And now we need to make sure these people who are becoming citizens of Liberia are doing it to contribute because you love the place, right? That's why you want to be a citizen of the country. You love the country. Yes, there are benefits that you get, but you love the country, right? So you want to now reap the benefit of being a Liberian, but also you want to contribute to the economy. So that's what it is now. The government have to flex the muscle and say, look, let's make sure we put things in place that we Liberians are going to benefit. So Patterson was asking about some disadvantages. That's some of the disadvantages I can think of, right? When it comes to people exploiting the country, people taking things out of the country. When it comes to same thing again, which I'm not going to suppress, is people coming for their own reasons for government jobs and stuff, and knowing that if whatever SHIT hit the fans, they can dip, they can go back to their country of origin, right? Not origin, but their country of like whatever they naturalized as a citizen, and it'll be good. But if you're a Liberian, you're living there, and you know that, look, man, if I screw up, I can't really go anywhere. I'm here, or it's going to be harder for me to just go somewhere. I need to be more considerate. So that's some of the disadvantages I can think of as far as that. But like we said, there are more positive things, right? Let's see here. So how do you Vimandi? How do you pronounce your name? Liberia is the poorest country. Liberia is not the poorest country. Liberia is the 7th. Don't do us like that. We're like 7th poorest country. So we're still richer than like 6 other countries. So don't do us like that. Hey, brother, I want to know if they're disadvantaged. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to say yes. I'm sure Liberia is the only backwards nation on the planet. It's so embarrassing. I'm tired of this S-word excuse about people exploiting, or you mean, pardon, exploiting. Go to Ghana and all those countries doing better. So maybe you're just joining the live, but we're not just talking about people exploiting Liberia, right? If you've been on life from the beginning, you would have heard all the positive things I mentioned earlier that this is going to bring to the country. So it's kind of a little bit naive when people join live videos, or when people come on the YouTube channel and just make some comments that is not in depth, right? The person who made that comment, Voimandi, or your name, and I respect everybody's opinion, and I strongly respect your opinion. What you mentioned, that is 100% true. People are so focused on exploiting. They don't want to go back and do anything, right? They're just hiding behind exploitation of Liberia. They don't want to approve this. But however, though, if you're watching I think maybe you're talking in general, maybe not specifically towards me, but yeah, I agree with you. So we need to move from behind that, people are exploiting the country, so we're not going to do it, and focus more on going back into the country, right? So I agree with you in that way, but I don't know if you're directing that specifically towards me, because if you are, I will say, though, we're talking about both sides. So it's not just the disadvantage, but also the advantages. So I agree with you, but also have added a lot of advantages of that. So let's see here. So, hey, family, Energy Johnson was good. Is the government working on the cleanups? I'm not sure. That's something that I will kind of really dive deep into and see what they're working on currently. But I'm curious to know myself, to see if there's something they're working on. The cleanup. I don't know, cleanup meaning like just overall the economy, or just cleanup literally like street cleanup. Hey, family. So Emmanuel said Liberia is not poor, but our leaders made the country look poor. They're like leadership. That's 100% true. So Emmanuel, I agree with you on that one. Almost no African country is poor. Look, Africa is one of the richest continents on earth. Like, when you see the resources Africa has, we should be the richest continent on earth. We have the human capacity. You see, I made a video about the 5 things that will surprise you about Liberia. But what was that? Yeah, so Liberia has one of the youngest population on earth. The average age in Liberia is about 18 to 19 years old. Young, what does young mean? Young means human capacity, human resources. Young people can work. Young people have the potential to grow and experience and learn, right? So, which means we have that human capacity. We can be a great nation. You know why China is great right now? Because one, the population, of course, but secondly, China is also amongst the country that have younger population, right? So which means they have that human resources. America and England and Europe, they are countries that have older population. A lot of these people are older. They mostly rely on blue collar jobs, IT and those kind of jobs. They're great, but also jobs that require handwork, like we have the energy to do it. Those jobs can make a country, a nation great also, and we have that. You know what I mean? So we may not have the experience and the knowledge for all these years of education, but with the few tweaking and a few people that lead, all of these young folks with all the energy and everything can make a great nation. So yes, no African country should be a poor country. Liberia is poor just because of how we over the decades and decades have been managing the country. But Liberia has the resources. Just the human power alone can do it. These young people, it's easier to educate a young person. Like they learn faster, right? So there's so many things. So yes, Liberia is the seventh or eighth poorest country on earth. However, though, it's rich. And you look, you watch my videos, you see those drone shots, you see those opportunities for like different things, and even tourism or like just agriculture, right? Infrastructure and manufacturing. All of these things, companies can be going back. You got, I don't know if you read it, but Amazon or yeah, or something. Amazon is building a warehouse. So you see, I figured it out. I don't know, guys. I'll try to put my phone on do not disturb, but today everybody's calling, so. But I figured it out, so my phone is not going to freeze for a long time. So Amazon, they're taking the warehouse back to Africa. All right. So yeah. So they're taking all these factories and things back home. It's not my internet, guys. It's just phone calls. So yeah, no African country should be poor. We have that capacity and resources. Let's read some more comment. All they have to do is make. Let's see here, Todd. So Patterson said, "I'm seeing some." Okay, that's it. Okay. So I'm seeing some negative comments from some negative-minded people. For God's sake, Liberia came 14 years of civil war. So please watch your comment. At least we're picking. Yeah, man. You see what I'm saying? Patterson, so you're right. So but some of these comments don't bother me because I know people. Every time you put yourself on the internet and do something live, you open yourself up for people who just come and just say anything, right? So it don't bother me, but it's sad that when people come and contribute and say negative things about Liberia, we should not be focused on that. Like talking bad about Liberia right now is not going to help Liberia anyway, unless if your intention is just to keep the country down. If your intention is in the slightest to improve the country, you should not be, because yes, it's a fact, right? We're one of the poorest countries on earth. It's a fact we have bad leadership. We've had bad leadership. It's a fact that we're uneducated, right? A lot of us are. It's a fact that we're misusing our resources. All of those things are fact. By you repeating that and saying it is not going to help. Like we all know, you cannot tell a Liberian right now that, Liberia did this, and they'd be like, oh my God, really? This is the shock. No, nobody, you're not saying anything new. So Liberians who are always out there just bashing the country, Liberia, like you're not saying anything new. We all know that. Are you willing to help the country though? Or all you want to do is just bash? If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it, right? But don't bring your comments. Just find people who think like you and you'll talk about it, discuss that. But don't bring that to people who are trying to move forward with the country, So, and this, my whole tune and everything has nothing to do with that comment the person said or whatever it is. So it's cool. Everybody have, everybody can say whatever they want to say in the chat. Cool, I'm just saying in general. But anyway, let's move on. Let's see here. So, why is Liberia? Elijah said, why is Liberia so slow on growth? Bro, I really need to talk to you off YouTube. Cyrus. All right, Cyrus. Yeah. My email is on most of these videos. Just email me, then I'll save my phone number, and then we can talk offline. Yes, I wasn't. Oh, yeah. Liberia seemed with that, but like, yeah. So, okay, so why man they say he wasn't talking to me directly? Sarah said that. Elijah said, why is Liberia so slow on growth? Liberia is slow on growth, like other African countries too, who are back there with us. Mainly, I think, it really has to do with the people, right? And I've said this a long time ago before. I think it's more so have to do with we as individual Liberians than a body, an entity, a group of Liberians, right? What do I mean? Meaning, most of us Liberians, when we talk about the downfall of Liberia, the regression, is that a word? Regressive, regressive, regression, progression, regression. Look, it's a word, whatever. The regression of Liberia, we put it on government. Oh, we are government, Ellen this, Ellen, like, we are just pointing finger to like a body, an entity of like less than a couple hundred people. Then we, the masses that has more power. I gave this example the other day. Amazon, Jeff Bezos is like almost more powerful than the president of the country of America. Not in terms of, military and all of that. You know what I mean? What I mean is the president of America will listen to Bezos. Jeff employs hundreds of thousands of people. If that man say, you know what, I'm closing all my shit and taking a different country, there will be a riot in the country because everybody's going to lose it to whatever president that made that man close his business, right? You have more influence as an individual in the private sector, providing jobs directly to people. You have more influence than a body of government. People can come together because of your influence and change the government, right? That's kind of how it is. So when we talk about Liberia, we're like pointing finger to government. What government did this? What government official didn't put this light on? Oh, this made it worse. What government official did this or what government official did that? It's we as individual. We have more power. So the person asked why my Liberia growth is so slow. It's because the majority of us Liberian focused more on all the problem Liberia has than us putting hands together and seeing how can we move forward, how can we push this country forward. Liberians love nothing more than talking bad about Liberian. I promise you, Liberian people will gather and have roasted meat and Guinness. I made a post about it on my Facebook. People are laughing. Liberian men will roasted meat and Guinness and watch a soccer game, and all they'll do is talk politics, not in a progressive way, but how the person did this, how the stupid, stupid man, all day. And we come to the diaspora and we want to establish life in the diaspora and not want to go back. But I see country like, I only talk about the country I've been to. I see country like Ghana and like that. You see all these Ghanaians, they gotta come here, they get their degrees and stuff, they're going back. Of course, yes, Ghana has more things in place from when you go back, to get jobs and and contribute your skill set you've learned and stuff like that. Yes, I get it. But that's something that can be changed still, right? But we Liberians, when we go to the diaspora, our whole goal is to just stay there and like not go back. You don't even want to associate yourself. That country, we're gonna go to Liberia, man. Like that's the thing with us. That's us, right? So that's what I'm saying. People are like, why is Liberia so slow to growth? It's because of us. It's not a government. We have power over the government. We as people elected the government. We came together one day. They get all half bag of rice and oil, and we wear the people in a t-shirt, and we beat drum, and we put the people in there. So what makes you think we can't take them out of there? What makes you think we can't influence them to change policies? You understand what I'm saying? So when people are blaming government, like we put that government there, we can take that government out of there when we all come together, but we're now on the same page. Liberian people, we just focus and we're divided, and we love to divide ourselves by one or two, right? And we're just focused on bringing the country down. That's why Liberian growth is so slow. It's not because of the government in place. Yes, I'm not relinquishing the government of their duties. I'm not saying the government has a huge part to play of making all these things possible when we put them together to move forward, of aiding and putting at least the grassroots infrastructure in place, like to put the bridge there for us to walk on with our ideas and go to where we want to go. Yes, but we tend to just wholeheartedly, Liberian majority of us, say, oh, the government fault. Like we are men, like Ellen was staying for 10 years, she do nothing. Okay, she do nothing. What did you do? Did you go back and support the local economy? Like just by buying something for $5 from the girl in the water market over there? No, you didn't. You came to the diaspora, you stayed there, like myself. We're in this country for whole years and years and years without going back and contributing, right? So I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to us, all of us. So that's kind of what it is. Let's go to the comment. So let's see here. Liberia is a very small country, but I don't understand why we struggle to develop. That's true. Small country, it shouldn't be hard to develop. We have resources that one or two sector of that resource can develop the entire Liberia. So that's true. So Abraham said the growth of Liberia is in the hand of individual Liberian, not just the government. See? So before I even saw that comment, Abraham, is exactly what I'm saying. It's in us, the people, not just the hand. I mean, we're not saying the government don't have a part to play in it. What we're saying though is it's just not the government. Hold on, guys. Let me put a light up here. Give me a second, yeah. Let me put a light. I'm at my studio. I'm moving some stuff around, but it's getting really dark, and my camera having a lot of grain on it, having a lot of noise. So let me plug some light and bounce it off the wall. So that. Alright, so I'm gonna bounce this off the wall. Let me close this curtain. And then bounce the light. Let's see how that works. Woo. Okay, a little better, I think. Okay, so I was staying right here with this. Better, right? A little better, right? Alright. I think there's reflection in my glasses. But anyways, so yeah, just like I was saying, so that we Liberians, right? So let's go to some comments. So let's see. Man, I'm so happy that you guys can see each other comment. I didn't think you're able to do that. The growth of Liberia is in the hand. Energy Johnson said people are slow thinkers, or yeah, we don't want to put in work to make diamonds shine. Definitely, we want it already shiny, and that's the Liberians. We want it already shiny. When we talk about Liberians supporting each other and stuff like that, most of the time Liberians were supporting when you made it, right? That's when you see people like the girl who won American Idol when she won it. Everybody was making her the thing, the Olympian guy. I'm pretty sure when he was practicing all his Olympic thing and nobody gave a crap about him, but now he went to the Olympics, everybody sharing. So that's us Liberian. That's our characteristics. We like to jump behind things that are already, right? We like to jump behind diamonds that's already shining. So that's kind of what it is, right? So that's all of those things. That when somebody asks, why is Liberia so behind? That's all of those things, right? We shouldn't be pointing finger. We should include ourselves in a conversation. So the growth of Liberia, energy say people are O'Shea, Duke Jackson. What's good, my brother? Hey man, you know I subscribe to your channel. I'm following your channel, man. Interesting stuff. I was watching some of your videos today, and I always love your introduction. O'Shea, Duke Jackson. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm glad you guys can see each other comment. ADOS. I haven't been to Africa yet, but one of the places I want to visit is Liberia. Definitely, I think you should visit Liberia. I think you would love it. Liberia has a lot to offer, especially if you haven't been to Africa. Liberia is a little more forgiving as far as the experience. The people are generous for the most part when you're there, and you will have to jump through a few loopholes and stuff. But right now, Liberia is at the best to visit right now than ever before. I'm not saying normal days though. I'm saying just within the past decade. Currently, Liberia now, there are more things in place now to make your stay more better. So let's see here. So likewise, Todd and O'Shea, you're nailing it. Thank you, Energy. Good to see you, bro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? Yeah. See, people recognize O'Shea. O'Shea's a big YouTuber, man. I'm curious, O'Shea, Duke Jackson. Are you Liberian or Liberia affiliated? You have a pretty big YouTube channel. You do great work and a lot of contribution to entertainment and just the YouTube world. So I'm curious to know, are you Liberian? But let's go here to Faith Williamson. Liberian don't control the economy in Liberia. Okay, if those business people decided to pack and go to the country, Liberia will be down. Liberia will be screwed. If this business people in Liberia decide to pack and leave, we will have next to nothing, right? But guess what now, right? So I talk about positivity. I talk about not just talking down on Liberia, right? So let's switch the conversation a little bit. There are a lot of people who are Liberians currently now that are contributing to the Liberian economy. right? So, like I said, I went to Liberia. There's so many businesses, and you will see that everywhere. Even when you live in the diaspora, you see your neighbors and your friends and everybody talking to you about what they're establishing in Liberia. So, Liberians are contributing. Oh, I should plug my phone because it's about to die. It's not gonna be good. Let me plug my phone. Do you guys like my laptop? My laptop cover. See, it's pretty cool. I got it from online. I think it's called Skins or something like that. But anyways, let me plug my phone here because I think it's on 5%, and we're gonna be dead. Soon. All right, so right. So I don't know where I was at, but let's continue with the comments so we can kind of continue. Are you planning on having? Let's go up. Liberia under control. Muta said, "Are you planning on having a networking event in Liberia this December?" Yes, I mentioned that, man. Are you a male or female? Muta, maybe a male, I guess, a guy. But yes, and I mentioned that earlier. I kind of want to have some incentive of people coming there, especially those who are local Liberians. So Panto is a good friend of mine. He's on tour in the U.S. now. He'll be here in Minnesota. I'll be doing some documentary work for him as well. Whilst we were in Liberia, we did a few projects with him, a documentary, a music video, and stuff like that. If you guys have seen Panto's song, it's called Street Praise. We did that video for him and stuff like that. So he's here, but he's going to be in Liberia at that time when we're there. So we're trying to have him come through. He said he's going to come through and stuff, but a few more people to come through. They were close with artist-wise to just have some incentive for people who are locally coming through. But yes, so we're planning on having an event in Liberia. It's going to be a meet and greet event. It's going to be just an event where we're going to gather, have some good food, good music and stuff like that at an event center and interact. I want you guys to all interact with each other. I mean, most of you guys to see each other there who watch this channel, interact with each other. I'll be there, Joel will be there. And it'll be so amazing to whenever I meet you guys out in Brussels, I met people at the airport here. I met so many people in Liberia. I say, hey, man, it's 100% because of your channel I'm here in Liberia now. Because, I just kind of sparked that conversation of people wanting to at least consider going back. So it was an amazing. I mean, I saw people everywhere. So this time, why not just have something where we all come together in one place instead of me hopefully finding, meeting you guys out there. So it's going to be amazing, man. So if you're in Liberia, come through. Let's do it. It's going to be, we're going to put the flyer up here. As for the location and date and time, I think it's gonna be obviously before Christmas. Maybe not on a Saturday because Saturday's gonna be busy. Maybe on a Friday or something like that. So we'll come through. But yes, we're gonna do that. Definitely. So let's see here. Are you planning? So O'Shea, thanks. O'Shea in the house. I'd love to have you on my other channel as an interviewer. Man, that would be amazing, man. That would be amazing. Definitely. I'd love to. So I don't know. I'll go to your channel and see if I can get an email or something, and I'll send you an email, and we kind of move from there. But that'll be amazing. Thank you so much, man. I love the opportunity. So Emmanuel said, overall, we can depend on government. We have to do party development. Yeah. So yeah, the government is not out of the picture, right? The government has to do something. The government is there as a body, of based on your government. Kind of mainly people want to become American citizens because of the government. In part, what that means is the government has set things in place that even though we the people have the power, but because of the little infrastructure and procedures and methods put in place, we have the ability, right, to do it, to execute it. Because you can have a plan, but if you don't execute it, then it's a dream, I guess. So the execution part, something has to be in place to execute. So the government, that's when the government come in. So we have to come up with all of these things as people and not just rely on the government to do everything. The private sector in America is way more than the government. They have way more influence, right? But the government just put one or two few things in place so that as a private citizen, when you come up with your business idea or your whatever it is, you already have things in place like I said, like a bridge that you can walk on with your ideas. So that's kind of what it is. So let's see here. O'Shea says African American. Okay. He's African American but loves Africa. Man, appreciate it. Definitely. Motherland. Let's see here. African channel. Okay. Kengenda is an African channel. I'll go check it out. Okay, I'll send you a message. Patterson said, "Hey, brother, we need to stick to our topic, dual citizenship." Okay, definitely. Share the video on my main channel. Oh man, appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of what I mean. We're talking about dual citizenship. Patterson said we should stick to that. Of course, all of this still has to do with dual citizenship, right? It ties back in some way to dual citizenship and how that's going to affect us, Liberians. So, yeah, so that's kind of what it is. I think Joel is coming. Maybe he can chime in on this whole conversation. Yeah. Joel hasn't been on the channel for a while. You guys know Joel. Joel and I, my business partner, we do our episodes together and also travel to Liberia and stuff together. Come on in, man. It's a lot. We're doing it live, man. Can't say hi to the people, man. Can't say hi to the people, man. Man, can't say hi to the people, man. The men can't say hi to you. Hi, man, treating you like that. But so that's kind of the whole thing about dual citizenship. That's my stand on it, and you know, and most of what you guys have been saying also is right. So there isn't, you know, there is definitely, if you say something a little bit negative about it, you know, there are some negatives. And if, you know, all of those of us who are saying positive things about it, there are positives about it as well. So, definitely. So let's see here. AJ said, how many streams of income from America you need to fully sustain yourself in Liberia? Please talk to me about the women. The AJ person seems like they always ask about the women. The women, yeah. To go to who? Yeah, AJ, go see for yourself. When it comes to the women, go see for yourself. But yeah, go see for yourself. But as far as streams of income to be able to sustain yourself in Liberia, what, 1,000? $1,000 a month?
If you're making, right?
If you make,
or how many streams of income?
you need in America. Remember, count the line back. Streams of income you need in America to be able to sustain in Liberia. So, like, if you're living in America, how many streams of income you need here to be able to live in Liberia?
How much?
Yeah. So, but anyways, like, but same thing like you said, 1,000. If you're making like $1,000, but it depends. Yeah, well, if you're making $1,000 a month in Liberia, yeah, you live a pretty good life. That's so. For instance, if you have, let's say you know, you're one of those people who have a property here, right? You got a rental property here. People are paying you, your tenants are paying you rent and stuff like that. And out of the payment people are giving you, your tenants are giving you, after you pay whatever all your stuff, you're still getting some money. That's a good thing to do. You know, a great way to also, you can be in Liberia like that. Those people who are working online too, that's another great way to do it. If you have an online business, you can work from anywhere in the world. And yeah, definitely. So you can definitely have that $1,000 a month from one source or multiple source. But if you're in Liberia, if you're making that much a month too, that's also great. That's taking into consideration you already have a vehicle and a place to stay. So yeah. But yeah, so that's dual citizenship, guys. So we've talked almost everything about it. You can still chime in. But now we're just going to talk about in general, right? Whatever in general questions you guys have. I'm going to be on here for 10 minutes. And then I have to go. Joel is here. I have some stuff at my house that I have to give him. So about 10 minutes. But let's just talk in general about any kind of topic, really. So somebody asked about cost of living in Liberia. How many sources of stream of income you need to live there? I would say at least 2, meaning because one source of income in anything is really not, it's not the best thing to do, right? You can have a great stable job, making good amount of money. You still kind of need, maybe you don't need, but it's always a good idea to have something else that's bringing you some kind of money, right? Because we all know nothing in life is guaranteed, especially even if it's your own business, your own thing. Look what's happened to people with the pandemic, right? They had their own business, they were making a great amount of money. Out of nowhere, unplanned, a pandemic happened, and then boom, they lost everything. So multiple sources of income is always better than just one. No matter how good, you can say, "Oh, I have a good job. You know, I'm a doctor, and I work at a hospital. I make, you know, $150,000 a year." Yes, that's great, but you still kind of need something else. Maybe take that save some of that money and buy a property that somebody is just paying, even if you're making like $300 a month on that property, that's good. That's another source of income, right? You just don't want to just be 100% one source of income. So that from Liberia. Energy said Liberian women are the finest in all of Africa. I definitely agree with that. That's for sure. Elijah said the lack of growth stems from the nation's DNA. The government expects handouts from other nations, which have come to be the way of life that have triggered down to all Liberians. Your thoughts? Um, that's I agree to that in part. Meaning, when it comes to crisis, when it comes to especially crisis or things that are gonna demand a quick response or something be done quickly, that's when we are. But a government can be in place for 10 years. They're not going to ask for a handout as much. They're just going to benefit themselves, right, and their people. But when something happens that needs quick action, that needs a response from somebody that have been planning all along, that's when they seek handouts. So it's not so much that just handouts. It's Liberian government based on our resources and stuff like that we can sustain. But during that time, we're just not focused on the country as a large, but mainly themselves. But then when something happened, now they're reaching to the international community. So that's my thought about it. So yes, that's true. Basically, the government should be putting things in place that whenever something happened, we have a backing, that we can fall back on and stuff like that. So, and taxes, right?
Taxes, yeah.
Do they have taxes in Liberia?
The top business owners pay taxes, but not.
So top business owner pay taxes. Okay, so yeah, taxes and stuff like that because the government would need money. But taxes, man, it's same thing. It's a catch-22 because you can do taxes, but if you're taxing the people who have to go through so much struggle to sell the things. So why are you taxing it? Like, or I guess after you start taxing people and then you in turn create avenue for people to benefit, then yeah. But like, if there are no good roads and I have to spend get a fork on the money and spend a lot of money to this one driver that will come to where I'm at to carry my goods in town, and I gotta pay taxes. You know what I mean? I already gotta pay more to get there because the roads are not good, and I gotta pay taxes. Then he's like, so if the taxes are being implemented, then yeah, taxes would be a great way too for the government to be able to sustain when something happens. Let's do a few more questions and then we can close this. So the lack of growth depends on the lifestyle. So yeah, it depends. I think Muta. I think you're referring to the $1,000 a month. It definitely depends on the lifestyle. If you're over there jollying, spending $300 every weekend at anglers, then maybe you're not. So watching from Australia, keep it up. Thank you, Louise. Definitely Australia. YouTube shows me exactly where people are watching from, and the U.S., Canada, Australia, and what is it? Is it Japan? Not China. One of the Asian country. Liberia is like the third, fourth, as far as the number of people that watches the channel. U.S., Canada, Australia, Asia, some country in Asia. I think they just group all the Asian countries together. They say Asia. But anyway, so mark the try because Eritrea and South Africa got the heat to Liberians with Black American heritage. No, pass down that part of the heritage or even connect with their family in the States. Do Liberians with Black American heritage know or pass down that part of the heritage or even connect with the family in the States? So basically, those who are living in Liberia who has African American back in the heritage, if they pass it down, I mean, it's hard not to, especially if you're close to that person. The person can kind of be of some kind of assistance to you when you're in Liberia. Yes, definitely. But if it's been so many generations in between, like your great, grandma, and there isn't any connection with the current generation or family members, then I'm not sure that they pass that down. I don't think so. A couple of things here. So Kennedy, okay, okay, replying to each other. You guys are replying to each other. How safe is it to travel there? Is it tourist friendly? Greg asked that question. To travel to Liberia is fairly safe. To travel into Liberia, It's safe. It's like traveling to another country. It's pretty safe, but I guess you mean going there, right? If it's safe going to Liberia or being in Liberia. It is. I made a video about this. I made a live about this too a few weeks ago. It's fairly safe. It's not. It's not. Noticeably unsafe. Meaning, it's not something where you're like, okay, you're looking at countries and then Liberia just pop right out like, whoo, red flag, unsafe. It's not. So, and it's fairly safe. The tourism wise, there are not so many infrastructure in place to support tourism, but there are opportunities and for somebody to create that, right? But there's still some great tourist attractions and businesses and services in place for tourists in Liberia. But there could definitely be a lot more based on the geography of the country, and all of that stuff, the landscaping and the weather and everything. There could be definitely be more, but yes, but Liberia is not that unsafe. Like I said, like everywhere you go in the world, just kind of watch what you do, where you go, places you go. I always use the line: don't go stupid places at stupid times. That's simply as that. But you should be good. Going to Liberia, and I highly recommend going to Liberia. So the last few more here. Patterson said not just top business owners pay taxes. Citizens pay taxes to indirect tax. I guess some people pay taxes that they don't know. Your thoughts? Like, look, Patterson saying not just top businesses, but like he thinks that smaller people.
Because
He's asking for my thoughts. So I don't know it's like that. So,
maybe
nah, I don't. I would lean more towards no on that as far as not the top business. If you're not a top business, most people avoid paying taxes, and I don't even think it's really that implemented. There isn't any system to really like most businesses are not registered, so you don't even know who to go after. So that's the first thing, right? So and even
yeah,
the eh?
like if you have a building,
If it were built, yeah, a big building in
big
place,
building in place, where
yeah,
you're running business there.
exactly, and it's registered in a bigger business that people come to the year, it's easier. But most businesses are mobile. You're here one day, the next time you're over there, you establish a little small shop here and here. Most of these people are not registering, so most of them are not paying taxes. Just a few, very very few people are paying taxes, and they're not paying taxes indirectly either because whatever money they get, that's what they get. Maybe if you're saying maybe the government is charging a little more money to register for something or do something, then maybe that's how they get their money. But yeah, let's see here.
Also, property tax in place too.
Is there property tax in Liberia when you build your house?
Well, there's property tax that people don't pay.
Yeah. So, yeah, because I've never heard anybody paying taxes in Liberia for their property.
Yeah.
So maybe
People
those
don't pay. People don't pay.
they don't pay, right?
But I think there's one that's in like the law or whatever.
See, there are so many things that is written in the law in Liberia, but it's just not being implemented. Like I mentioned before, you can have a plan, you can have everything, but the execution part of it is not there. It just doesn't do anything. So Gianna said, "What's the most expensive essential in Liberia, and is there any way around it?" The most expensive essential in Liberia, like your everyday thing, the most expensive as far as relatively. Um, I mean, I would say, man, there are so many of them, right? Things like telecommunication. I always mention telecommunication,
Your phone.
like your phone.
One thing
Like if you're using your
you know
phone,
what adds up?
water,
Water.
water, especially like it's again,
Just if you're not drinking the bag water,
right?
bottle water, even if you that thing,
Yep. So yeah,
they
so
don't deserve it.
so essential, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, things like, well, it depends on how you establish, right? If you have your own house, your own car, and everything, yeah. But transportation would be so. If you are living, so there are two. There are two. I would say there are two. Sorry, guys. Oh man. But anyway, so there are two sectors. Number one is, are you visiting Liberia or are you living in Liberia? Right. So if you're visiting Liberia, your essentials that's going to be more expensive that you would not think would be just groceries. Now I'm not talking about food like regular food, fish, grains and stuff you buy. Groceries, your toiletries. You know what I mean? Like bathing soap and all of those things, they are expensive. Even like tissues, you spend like a lot of money on tissues. So your normal things that you're used to wherever you're living. Why is this thing telling me it's not able to connect? All right, I think this thing is trying to kick me off. So 5 more minutes and I'm gonna leave because so many things are going on. How are the roads? Gianna driving. Gianna must be new to my channel. Gianna, if you're new here, subscribe and go watch all the videos. I have so many videos on all the questions you've asked. And you will love it too because it's not just a yes and no, all the roads are good or bad. I'm showing you videos and talking in depth of all of this question you've asked me. So I talk about cost of living in Liberia too, another video I put up there. So all of these questions you've asked, I have all videos. We have 30 episodes now, so all of those questions are answered. You can check it out. But just to answer quickly, the roads are not that good. They're good in the city area and stuff like that. So if you're going there, if you're sending a vehicle, you need a taller vehicle, trucks. And if you're driving around, it's going to take you a longer time because the roads are not that good. Balia Tawe, I'm pronouncing you guys' name right. Will dual citizenship be open to just anyone from country or specific country? Yeah, that's a good question. What do you think? Is it specific country? That's a good question. It's not. Do you know if it's specific countries for dual citizenship or is just anybody who want to become?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
would think dual citizenship means dual citizenship for everyone, but
I think there could be some countries.
Yeah, certain countries that just have bans on them.
Yeah. So I'll research. I'm not too sure. My guess would be, I'm almost certain there are a few countries that doesn't support that, or Liberia is not in that agreement with. So I don't think there's any country anybody can just jump up from way behind Wakanda and just come and be a citizen. Oh, so not non-blacks. So if you're not black, oh.
Well, that makes. I mean, it don't make sense, but.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though.
I believe it.
Yeah. So okay, that makes sense. So just to non-black people.
Yeah, so if you're not black.
So if you're not black, so if you're, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So if you're black of any African country or anywhere, so long you're black,
You can get those.
you can get dual citizenship, but just not.
One of those.
Yeah. So I mean that kind of makes sense because
that's the same thing with the land.
the land, right? So the same thing I was talking about. So at least I feel like if you're some sort of black, you have some sort of incentive to at least contribute to a black nation like Liberia. But if you're not at all of any black descent, then maybe you may not be as to really you probably want to just come and take things out. So that makes sense. Non-black. Then this
I
person.
wonder if that's the same thing in Ghana.
Yeah, I wonder because Ghana and other countries have dual citizenship too.
Had this 20 last year or something.
This other person name on the channel, the name not small name, repent for the kingdom of God is at hand. I like that. That's the name of the whole channel.
Not small.
Yeah, I like that. Like the guy who cut our hair in Liberia, his name is Jesus Son.
Jesus son.
And like that's his name. His barbershop is called Jesus Son Barber. His name is Jesus Son. Like he will not tell you any other name. So I like that. It's only for black and biracial people. Oh, so biracial too.
Yeah, black. I should be black. According to it, black.
Right. Okay. So biracial. That's good.
If you have a drop of.
Todd said, doesn't the Constitution state in order to be a citizen of Liberia you have to be black? Okay. So
So
I guess that answers that question. So yeah, like I said, guys, I'm kind of new to this whole thing. I have my opinion, so I'm learning a lot. So that's good. I mean, that makes sense too. So I guess it's not just open to anybody. So earlier on during this live, I was speaking as if anybody can just come and be, but so it's just somebody of biracial or black. So okay, AJ, I like AJ. AJ said, do you believe in polygamy? And do you think Liberia should allow people, polygamy?
Well, they already allow it.
In Liberia?
Yeah.
Can you marry more than one person in Liberia?
The chiefs in the village, what do you think's happening?
That's chiefs in the
Look
village,
at this
man.
guy.
But that's chiefs in the village doing their own
that's
thing.
still Liberia. Yeah, they already do it in Liberia. All African
I'm gonna try this thing
countries
real
do
quick.
it in some form of fashion. Look at this guy. Don't put it.
You're not inside your fireplace, but you worry about your fireplace way behind. At least to see where the voice coming from.
Yeah, no, I think they already do it in Liberia, but I think that's changing.
So I don't know, but I don't think it's legal though. Like, or unless the people don't have their own separate thing. But
It's a tribe.
maybe it's a try. Yeah, like in the village, but the constitution don't reach in the village.
The guy question was, do you believe in it?
Do I believe in it?
That's That's
Why you repeat the question
I'm
though?
just wondering if you're gonna answer. the
Do I
question.
believe in it? Man, that's like, look, we're trying to create a separate channel to talk about things like this, and I think it's very important. Do I believe in it? Um, here's what I'll say. There are advantages, and there are disadvantages. Simple as that. Advantages would be, you know what I mean, like, it's gonna really sustain the household, right? Instead of so many people, having maybe like you marry a woman, and maybe I don't know, you feel like you want something different or whatever it is, and you cheat and leave, you break. I think more men being able to marry multiple women will be able to gather and keep a household in place more and longer, which will then entail generate wealth because now the bigger household, maybe all the women are working, the guys working, they're raising the household, raising kids and being able to have exemplary parenting for the kids and stuff like that. Especially because if this is legal and people are doing it, which means the women are in agreement with it and they're working together. I think is especially when it comes to wealth and stuff like that. I think that it will be able to do that. That's the advantages because, and I'm just speaking as an opinion because there are places that practice that, and you can see, and they will tell you that those are the advantages, right? But most of the time when people think about polygamy, they think about a man who wants to cheat but now have the opportunity to go and bring the woman instead of just sneaking out of the house to bring the woman home and come be there. I mean, that's there too. That happens too. But so my thoughts on it is, that's my thoughts on it is simple. Is there are advantages and disadvantages of that. So it really depends on the majority of the people. If the majority of the people thinks that hey, it's going to benefit society more, then yeah, I don't have a problem with it. That's the thing. I don't have an issue with it. I'm not against it, but I'm not for it in certain I'm not for it either. So I'm in the middle, meaning there are advantages and disadvantages. If it becomes a mandatory that everybody marry one woman, I'm not gonna go protest. If it becomes mandatory that everybody marry more than one woman, I'm not gonna go protest. So that's kind of summarize my stance on the meaning. I'm not for it. I'm from a single parent or is that monogamous? Whatever it is, it's one mom, one pop home, and that's what I grew up with, and that's what I know. But I'm not against the other one either because I don't know too much about it, but I've seen some advantages, and of course there's some disadvantages. Multiple wives. The disadvantage would be, of course, it depends on like the financial stability of the man. If you go and take on multiple women and you can't support all of them, if the women don't get together, there's gonna be like a friction in the household.
But I don't even think a woman will be with a man that I don't have. I don't think 3 women's gonna say we're gonna marry a man that I have no money.
I mean, well, the man could have money initially and then later on.
If he has money initially, then he loses it with them. That's
Yeah.
all their fault.
Why?
Because he had it.
They should have helped him. They should have helped him keep it. But yeah, I mean, those are some of the disadvantages I think personally. I mean, and also another disadvantage is people are going to use that, right? Some people who they don't believe in that system. They just want multiple women.
Oh yeah.
They're like, you know what? Yeah, I meet this Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
There are
You
more
meet,
people that don't take it serious.
right? You just meet someone a Jew. You're like, okay, you know what? Now I have the clear code instead of going to sneak out. I can just bring the Jews in, man.
I don't really see any.
But he said you don't see no disadvantage.
That girl's family.
Right, and then yeah. So and if the girl is not with it, she will not do it either too. So
Yeah.
let's see here. Say that's lit. That's actually in the Constitution. Okay. And those Lebanese and white born in Liberia have no citizenship? Yeah, I don't think they have citizenships. Do they? Or maybe can't you be a naturalized citizen in Liberia? Can't you, even if you're a white man and live in the country for a certain number of years, can't you be a naturalized citizen? Like everybody else can do in the US when you come here under a certain amount of or you can, apply for citizenship and naturalize. I'm not sure.
You have to get married.
Or you get married to a Liberian maybe. It'll be lit and super helpful if they give Black American free dual citizenship and land consideration in history. It should be both ways then.
Well, they can give dual citizenship for free.
Who? If they give Liberia, if Liberia give Black American free dual citizenship, yeah, and land consider and land.
But the land thing, that's the part of struggle.
So yeah, they have dual citizenship now, but I don't know about land, but they can only
But land is
rent.
so cheap they can just buy it.
But if you're not a citizen, you can buy land. You can buy land. You can buy land.
Yeah, they can buy land. But now they can just
Oh, Black American, yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
black
yeah.
can buy land.
Yeah, you can buy
No,
land.
buy my land. That's what the lady told me.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, you know, I don't have my Liberian citizenship. She said, if
Yeah.
you're black, you're fine.
Somebody said we're able to get a Costa Rican citizenship because their dad was born there. I'm trying to pay a visit to Liberia, 2024 by God's grace. Patterson, that'd be great. Multiple wives seems like a headache to me. Okay, they can only rent.
Find a headache.
Who contact for actual dual citizenship in Liberia? I would say just start at the whatever they call the. Well, if you're in Liberia, what if you're not in Liberia? Maybe you go to whatever they call. Yeah, what is it called? What is it? Oh,
Consulate.
consulate or something like that.
Consulate.
Consulate office.
Minnesota Consulate, Liberian Consulate Office.
Yeah.
The guy name is Jackson George.
Yes. All right. If you're African American, you just say you're Liberian. But anyways, I don't know. I've been on the live for 90 minutes, an hour and a half. But I gotta go, guys. So we'll do another live. I'll post it online. But like I said, we're doing an event in Liberia. I know a lot of you guys have started asking about it, and a lot of you guys are gonna be in Liberia. So come on, let's meet up, guys. I'm about to dip out of here now. I'll be on here for an hour and a half. I'll see you guys again. I'll probably do a live. This time, Joy's coming on this live because I think it's better because he has a lot of knowledge on these things too, so we can just kind of chop it up with you guys as well. So I'll do a live on what's today? Today's what? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll do a live on Sunday.
You know what I'm here?
What?
I just want to get some dryers from your house.
Yeah, but that go get some dirt. When is the event? I'll post everything on the flyer, guys, for the event. If you're in Liberia, if you have family in Liberia, just let them come through. Let's make it happen. But I'll see you guys.
And we're doing a Christmas giveaway.
The Christmas giveaway.
Yes, I'll talk to you about it. I got some stuff I sent over there.
Oh, in Liberia.
Yeah, we're
Oh.
on Christmas Day, we're going to just give a lot of stuff away.
Okay. So
Like
yeah.
deodorant, socks,
Oh
t-shirts.
yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
All right, so we'll do that. We'll bring all the information to you guys, man. But anyways, somebody said, "Oh, now he wants to come in."
Let's leave.
I know.
Let us know, guys.
But anyways, see you guys, man. Thank you for tuning in, and catch you guys on the other side.